Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the 2-in-1 Golf Podcast. Sterling, Madison, and Mike here tonight. Sterling, back from a recent trip out west. How was it?
Yeah. Yeah, I went to Arizona. It was pretty gosh darn good. Weather was okay. One of the days we had rain, wind, and hail. It hailed for about 2 minutes. When you go to Arizona, you don't think you're going to have to take a beanie, but I ended up buying a beanie in one of the pro shops. But the resort was super nice. Lost $100 on Perez, and pretty good. How about y'all? How was Virginia? I heard it rained.
Virginia was very rainy on Saturday, but Friday was gorgeous. Sunday, a little cold and windy, but we made it work. So, getting to it, it's been a little while and had an event of fairly large proportions 2 weeks ago, Players Championship. And Scott Scheffler makes history. First player in the 50-year history of the Players Championship to go back to back. Madison, any initial thoughts on this? What does this mean? What does this mean for Scottie?
If you look at history, the year he won the Masters, he won back to back leading up to that. So I think all things are pointing to another green jacket. Now, I'm not saying that's definitely going to happen, but things are lining up. The putter has been the biggest issue for the longest time. It seems that has been ironed out. We know he's a great iron striker, pretty accurate off the tee, all things that you need to do at Augusta. But the biggest thing is the putter. And that was the biggest question mark for him going into the last couple months. So now that's been ironed out, 2 wins, history at the Players. I think we're going to see big things from him this year.
Okay. Sterling, some people are saying that the putting is solved, but could it be just a honeymoon, or does he actually have it sorted out? Is he just riding some good feels with the new stick, or is it really fixed for real?
I'm going to start my answer to your question with a question. When he
Okay.
won last year, did he win the match play before going to Augusta? Okay.
Well,
Madison's rolling his eyes because I got him looking up stats. But I
so
think
wait, when he
I don't
won
know.
what? When he won the when he won what last year?
The year
You're
you're
right.
talking
The
about the year,
Masters he won last year, John Rahm. So the year he won the
right?
Okay, the
Masters
year he won
2
the
years ago,
Masters.
I think he won the match play.
I think he won the match play going in.
So that was 2 weeks prior to the Masters. We won't see him again until the Masters. But
Is he not
if he doesn't
playing
play in,
Valero with all the other Texas guys? I don't know. I'm asking.
I wouldn't if I was him. But my point is, Madison said last time he won back to back, he won the Masters right after that. I think he's going to take the next 2 or 3 weeks off before Augusta, and I think we're going to lose some of that heat with the putter, and that'll be pretty much all she wrote for his chances at
Hmm.
Augusta. Hot
Wow.
take. Someone's got to have him.
That is a hot take. I think 3 weeks off is a lot, though, don't you think?
I mean, just look at the form we had at the Ryder Cup. Those guys took multiple weeks off, and no one showed up
Yeah.
besides Brian Harmon and Max Homa.
Have we learned nothing? I think you're absolutely right. Did we not learn from this?
Only time will tell.
I think you got to squeeze. I think you got to squeeze one event in, don't you? It's a
I
home
think,
game,
yeah, it
right?
is, and he loves Texas and wants to provide for his fans and whatnot. But
Mhm.
I think we got to look at the PGA Tour because we've already had a handful of signature events in the beginning half of this season, and now nothing really into it until Augusta.
We're gonna
Oh,
throw a timeout here. Scottie Scheffler
Okay.
is teeing it up this week at the Houston Children's or the Texas Children's Houston Open. So he is playing this week.
Interesting.
what
Wow.
tournament is that?
It's Houston.
It's Houston
What did it used to
for the,
be?
for the kids. The Shell Houston Open, maybe.
Yeah, and then they moved it to the fall. It was in the fall for a couple years. Now they've moved it
Oh, okay.
back to the spring.
Yeah. that was the one when they lost Shell. They've been trying to find
Right.
sponsors
Kind
every
of.
year, and it's renamed something every year, but it's always the same thing. So it's for the
So
kids
Scottie
this
Scheffler
year.
will win the Masters this year,
There you have it, folks.
like a light switch.
Yep, we'll see if the putter stays hot. I just all signs are pointing in the right direction, in my opinion.
They certainly are. It definitely didn't look fluky at any point with the putter. It looked rock solid. I guess just time will tell really as to whether or not he's riding a hot feel. I think we've all had that where you put something new in the bag and it treats you really well for a couple weeks and then all of a sudden the magic is gone and you're back to where you were. So he keep this up because God knows if he can, just the rest of professional golf had better watch out.
Yeah, there's definitely always a honeymoon phase with a putter, especially. That's why I have a full collection of them. There's always a honeymoon phase, but I think with Scottie, the big thing was the confidence builder, and I think he's really gotten the confidence with it now. I definitely think the honeymoon phase is coming to an end, and maybe we'll see what this week brings. But I
Mhm.
think the big thing was the confidence, and I think he has that now. So we'll definitely interesting to see how he plays this week, how he performs on the putting surface, and that kind of gives us a good insight into what we'll see in a couple weeks at Augusta.
Madison, what kind of putter do you have in your bag right now? We haven't played together in a couple weeks.
I have the oh god, I can't even remember what it is. Mike, what is it? It's the
It's the Odyssey,
Odyssey.
right? It's the
Yeah,
Odyssey.
yeah, but I
The
can't.
not quite the jailbird.
No, it's the. I think it's called the 3T.
Double wide?
Okay.
It's like a double wide, but it's rounded on the top and bottom, so it looks like a mid mallet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember
You've
the
had
name
that
of
in
it.
there for a while. That's been
Yeah,
in there a couple weeks.
yep. We that was
That that
there all 3 rounds in the Outer Banks,
that
which was
was.
impressive.
Did you even bring another putter down to the Outer Banks? Or were you
I did not.
planning or were you committed? Were you just monogamous?
I, I was
Not
committed.
going to cheat.
That was just all the way in, not even a question. So yeah, we rode with one putter. Actually, I'll say, Mike, I don't know what your thoughts were. I thought I putted really well with that all week. There was a lot of, I will say, some looser shots with the irons and driver as well, but for the most part, the putter was pretty solid.
I thought you looked pretty good with it. Definitely. Don't know why you would go away from it, but I know we're just one poor putting day away from that thing being benched. But yeah, I thought you were rolling it pretty nicely.
Yeah, it'll stay in for a little bit, a little while longer.
So speaking of
Oh
Outer
man.
Banks, I know
Yeah,
we all released a video this Saturday, 10 a.m. If you don't follow us on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe, turn your notifications on. Mike, we recorded your entire fitting with Taylormade down in the Outer Banks. You want to touch on that a little bit?
absolutely. Yeah, really a phenomenal experience. I've got to say, I've been through several fittings, especially for irons. I'd only done one driver fitting before, and it was not good. I was not impressed with the fitter, with the outcome, really, with anything. And this couldn't have been a just worlds apart different experience. The fitters that we both had, Madison and I both had, were absolutely phenomenal. The guy who worked with me, Mike, was just really incredible, really knew what he was doing. And I just felt like I was in good hands the entire time. And he really did a great job. And I think he saw it in the video of explaining what he was doing, explaining why, which was really nice because I like to know why and I like to know what's going on. And I learned a lot from it. I'd like to think that I'm fairly knowledgeable about equipment. I've reviewed a ton of it for different outlets, and he absolutely took me to school. And I couldn't have been happier with how it all went, with the experience, and just super pleased with the outcome. And I am 100% in love with that driver. And I don't think I've ever in my life been able to say something like that before.
Yeah, I'll say when Mike and I were talking about the fitting, we definitely had some reservations about it, just because. the way the whole thing worked out, we were going to be the last ones to get fit that day. And I thought it was going to be, we would be the last ones just for the entire group of this Taylormade Festival of Golf. I didn't realize they were doing fittings on Saturday as well. So the pro at Kilmar, like Brian, who had been booking everything, had sent an email and just said, hey, you guys are going to have 15 minutes for your fitting, 15 minutes for each person. And I was like, man, that's crazy. And Mike and I were talking about it. Do you really think they're going to be able to knock it out in 15 minutes? And so we pull up. We've had probably the longest round, I mean, that I've played this year. Mike, maybe probably the same for you.
Easily the longest round of golf I've played in a while.
So we thought we teed off at 10:30. Our fitting was at 5. We thought we had plenty of time. We make it there. I think we roll in at 4:15 and we show up down at the range around 4:30. And I'm just like, these guys are ready to go. They didn't have anybody there, so they'd been sitting around. I was like, oh man, this is probably not going to go well. But I will say, Grant and Mike from Taylormade, just the nicest guys ever. They were extremely welcoming. They had no issues with us letting us film. We even got Grant to do a quick little spot on some of the shafts, which you should see coming out very soon. But yeah, I just have nothing but great things to say. I definitely, Mike and I, on the way there, we were going in and we were just trying to lower each other's expectations a little bit with what to expect. And it was honestly by far one of the coolest experiences that I've had getting fit for a driver. So it was really great. So shout out to Team Taylormade, Mike and Grant. I don't know what their part is. It the Eastern North Carolina Taylormade, whatever it may be. I know they were filming something with Trotty later that week and Drake May, but yeah, just an awesome time for everybody.
I think it actually worked out in our favor that we went last on that day because it was completely unhurried. I never felt like they were trying to rush through it. They were trying to get us out of there and get home. Questions were all answered, and they couldn't have been nicer. They couldn't have been more patient. They couldn't have been more accommodating. And Mike, I wish we had gotten some audio of the conversations that Mike and I were having while you were getting fit, Madison, because that guy is he's a legend. He's played, I think, virtually every professional golf tour in the Western Hemisphere. And now trying to Monday his way onto the Champions Tour. And the stories he had playing in Europe, playing Hooters Tour here, all the way up and down the spectrum from PGA section events to trying to Mondaying into some PGA Tour events. And the guy's just been there and done it all over the place. And it was just like we were having a ball just hanging out while you guys were getting fit.
Yeah. It was pretty cool. I will say probably one of the funniest moments from the trip was one of the reasons why we were cutting it a little bit close. We were playing Currituck Club and shortish par 3, and I hit one and it just caught the left collar of the green and rolled down this hill into this waste area, which was recently rained on and a little muddy. Hit a shot out of there early in the round, great shot out of it, and just covered my pants in black mud. And that was pretty early in the round. So I wore those pants, which looked like I may have relieved myself on my pants for the majority of it. So we actually had to make a quick pit stop at Marshall's and Starbucks before we got there. But that was definitely pretty interesting. Good times.
Yeah, you absolutely roaried yourself on that one. And I wish I had gotten that on video like you got me on video with that bunker shot, because that would have been one for the fans, definitely.
Yeah, that bunker shot was still pretty clutch.
A lot of people have reached out to me and said, yeah, I thought you were going end over end, not the ball coming out of the bunker. So I was pretty proud of that one. But, and just in general, had a great time. Had an absolute great time. Very windy, but couldn't have hoped for much better for early season golf down in the Outer Banks.
Yeah.
So 10 of 10 would recommend.
So Sterling, you just got back from a trip in Arizona. You played Wekopa and
Yep, keep going. Yep.
Talking Stick.
Yep. And what else? What other one? Greyhawk.
So we played 5 rounds. Wekopa was 2 rounds at Wekopa. We played Greyhawk, and you're not going to get the other one because I honestly don't know how to say it either. It was Okatilla or Ocotillo. I don't know. But
Sounds
yeah,
right.
all great courses. Played with some wonderful people. My buddy Noah and I went down there with 6 other guys that I didn't really know. Some of them went to Alabama last year on that golf trip, but yeah, 5 rounds, 4 days. Stayed at a like casino resort at night.
Yeah.
It was pretty interesting after the rounds of golf. Um, one of the nicest hotel rooms, not even really a hotel room, but one of the nicest rooms that I've ever stayed in. But yeah, Phoenix was awesome. Every time you look up, you see the mountains. I don't know why. I'm not a mountain boy. Like I went to ODU and I chose the water versus going out to like Western Virginia. But when you see like mountains like out in the distance, I think that's one of the coolest things. Um, Fortunately, like, well, there's 2 sides of the coin, but the weather was like 55, 60, 70 degrees. So it was chilly for Arizona, but that also meant like the animals weren't out and about. So you could go into the desert and look for your golf balls and whatnot. Cause that was one thing that I was pretty worried about when going out there. Everyone's like, oh, yeah, the snakes and scorpions or whatever. At first, I was like really locked in on where I was walking as I was looking for golf balls. But by the end, it's just walk like normal. But Phoenix is awesome. I want to go out to California next. That was the farthest west I've ever been.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, I think
Nice.
I want to travel more. Why not?
We all do.
So
We'll just do a
we'll
travel
see.
series with Sterling. Sterling, did you use any of
Let's get it
those?
started.
Did you use any of those travel tips that I gave you when we went to Quail?
Yeah, I did.
So what travel tips did you give him?
So yeah, I think we talked about it on the podcast. It was just so long ago. It
Yeah.
was really only one. I don't know why we're putting the S on the end of tips, but in the closet there's a bag where you just like you can put your dirty clothes.
So it's a
And I
laundry
just never
bag.
knew that.
It's the laundry bag, yeah.
Yeah.
No, let's be
Yeah.
honest. Let's call it what it is. It's a plastic bag.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
they're designed that you can throw your laundry in there and you can get laundry service from the hotel. You can put it outside your door and get laundry service if you're staying a longer period of time. But the tip that I gave him is when you're repacking your suitcase, it's a good way. If you haven't worn something and you have worn something, I just throw all my dirty clothes in that and pack it back in the suitcase so it keeps everything nice and neat. And then you get home and you just dump the bag right into the wash
You
machine.
dump it right in.
It's
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah, you walk straight to the washing machine and dump it right in. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so we went to Quail. I had no idea. And that's one of the first things he did when we got into the room. He just goes into the closet and whips out that bag. So I guess I couldn't have it. And yeah, he was all set.
That's why you got to get your own laundry bag.
Yeah.
A real laundry bag. Yeah, they're worth
I
having.
had room service for the first time, which is, I don't know. You guys ever seen Like Mike?
Oh, Sterling was bawling. Absolutely bawling with room service.
Wait,
So,
hold on.
like, I mean, we can get into the numbers because I wrote everything down of what
Yeah.
I spent.
Let's do it.
Alright,
Let's do it.
So,
mine's
yeah.
alright.
So, how ripped
Well,
off did
the
you
PGA
feel
Tour.
after paying for room service?
Oh no, I didn't feel ripped off at all because I've put myself financially in a good spot. So I have a lot of not a lot of money, but I have money to spend. So I didn't feel ripped off. I knew what I was getting myself into when I went on this trip. So they want the whole list because
Let's just talk.
the
Let's just talk
people
about room
we
service. Let's just talk about room service to start,
I
and then
mean
we'll figure out.
room okay. It was only $42,
But what did you get?
so it
Is
wasn't
the
crazy.
What did you get? What
I
did you
mean,
get?
I got boneless wings, fries, and a Diet Coke. And Mike's
Nice.
laughing like that's a ridiculous number for what I got. But if you go into Uber Eats or DoorDash right now and try to order yourself 12 boneless wings, a side of fries, and a Diet Coke, it's going to cost you that same amount.
So you did room service for dinner, basically.
Yeah, it was after like one of the
Oh.
rounds, and the guys were like, "We're going to go over here and smoke cigars and drink whiskey." I'm like, "That's cool. I'm only 27. So I'm going to go to the room and order some room service." I haven't.
You're
y'all are
only
laughing. I haven't hit
27?
my whiskey phase.
Okay.
I'm
I
only
haven't hit
27.
my-
I'm not gonna sit there and smoke a cigar and like sip on whiskey. That's just not. I'm not there
I-
yet.
That's not
Wait.
Sterling's scene.
Hold on. Let me back up here. What's the whiskey phase? If 27 is not the whiskey phase, at what point do you hit the whiskey phase? What age is that?
How old are you?
No.
I don't know.
Are you
30?
saying 30? Okay, that's fair. Yeah, I'll give you that.
Like, do you smoke cigars?
I don't smoke cigars.
No,
You're
not on
not
the
there yet.
regular. Maybe one a year.
See? Mike's in that phase.
But when you're with the boys, it's one of those things you don't. It's one of those things you don't do. Actually, I do have friends who just smoke cigars on the regular, but most people, yeah, it's when you're out with the boys, and you'll have a whiskey and a cigar. God, what does that say about me? Because
You're in that phase.
I was drinking. No, I'm thinking about back to college, drinking cheap whiskey,
I
like
think
not anything you'd want to.
that's
Or is that
different.
different? Is that different? Yeah.
I think when you're out sipping on whiskey or bourbon, that's a different phase than if you're buying cheap
When you're buying
whiskey.
Bowman's, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
When you've
Especially when
got the
you're
lightweight, yeah. When you've got the
yeah.
lightweight traveler in your jacket pocket at the college football game, and you're pouring it into the stadium cup of Coke.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Fireball's a whiskey, right?
Technically, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
and
got a
like
toe in the
Technically,
category.
yeah.
yeah, and that's like everyone's first like non-beer drink. I feel like
It's a gateway now.
now it is. Yeah, my generation, Lord. But yeah,
Yeah.
I actually want to get into this list because it's actually funny.
Okay, let's do it.
We're looking at $4,000. I'm just gonna go ahead and say that. Okay,
Okay.
so that is resort and the golf. So 5 rounds, 4 nights, 2,500. Okay, no
Okay.
reactions there.
No,
The flight,
that's
we went Richmond to Charlotte to Phoenix. Remind me after we go over this list to just get into the flight stuff because we got to be better. $670. So Phoenix and back. And
right on
when part
par.
of that, I had to upgrade a seat. So it would have been like 580, $90 seat upgrade because I made a mistake. Let's see. Uber, $55 total. Airport dinner one night because Noah's clubs got taken by a random guy who then left his clubs there. It was a whole thing.
Oh no.
So we got an airport dinner for $20, snacks in the airport for $12. Forgot a deodorant. I went into the grocery store to get a travel size deodorant. Then I was like, you don't need a travel size deodorant. You can just take your own. Joke's on me because I just forgot my own. So I had to get a deodorant. Pro Shop sales. I spent $220 in the Pro Shop Madison. I got you a hat. I know
Oh,
you said you didn't. It was too late.
oh, sorry.
Mike, this guy, he calls me. I call him back. He doesn't answer.
Okay, hold on, hold on.
It was my daughter's birthday.
No, no, no,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
no, no, no,
Oh
no.
man.
I was gonna say the only comment I had about that was I thought that's surprisingly low because you played how many different courses? 3 or 4?
4 different courses, yeah.
That's pretty good, I'd say, for pro shop spend.
So like, I'm a logo guy. So if I don't like the logo, I'm not going to buy anything from your shop. Plain and simple. First course didn't have a great logo. Then we went to Greyhawk the second day. That one was more because of the NCAA tournament was there, and a lot of people know about it. So that's where I spent some money. And then Weco Ball has a great logo, so I
Hmm.
spent some money there as well. And then Talking Stick didn't have a whole lot in their pro shop. So yeah, $200. I got you a hat, and I got my buddy Peyton a hat, and then some other stuff for myself. Let's
That's
see. That's
Yeah,
pretty much it.
220 in Pro
uh,
Shop. That's that's again, that's right on par. That's what you'd expect.
I left off I won't say how much I spent on gambling in the casino.
so
But
I
if
want
you're
to go
sitting at
back.
home writing this down,
No.
and I told you the total was $4,000,
Yeah, we can do
You
them.
can-
you can get your
We
way
can work
there.
it backwards.
Yep. Do some rough math there. So I want to go back to Noah's clubs. So someone just randomly took Noah's clubs, but y'all had the other guy's clubs?
Yeah, so landed in Phoenix. We go to the baggage claim area. Mine are like the first ones out. So I pick up mine, and then we're sitting there waiting. And I don't know, we dilly dallied to the baggage claim. So we never saw this guy snag Noah's clubs, but we saw this one set of clubs just going around and around the carousel thing.
Yep.
And eventually, like an employee went over there and they start taking off the unclaimed luggage. And I looked at Noah and I was like, man, like, I know it's not your bag, but what are the odds like that person like has them? So we sat around and waited, and we went to the office or whatever, and they were like, yeah, like we know we scanned them off the flight. We just don't know where they are. And then an hour later, they decided to call the person who left their clubs, and he was like, no, I got my clubs. And they're like, are you sure? Because we have your bag here. So then he opened up the travel bag, and we saw it was Noah's clubs. So then he was like, all right, I'll be back in 30 minutes. Hour and a half later, he shows up. So yeah.
So did Noah have a real nondescript travel bag for his clubs? Very
Yep.
plain, very.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say it's plain. It's a really nice travel bag. It's like it's not Carhartt, the like the texture or whatever the material
Yeah.
that like Carhartt jackets are made out of. Like it's a
Hmm.
really nice like travel bag. It's just black though,
But it's plain
um,
black.
plain black,
And he
and
didn't
all only
have.
thing a little nameplate with his name in it, but that's it. Meanwhile, mine's from 2005 and it's old and it has a bit of green on it, and no one would ever want to take it.
Yeah. So hopefully Noah's learned to tie some streamers to it, or a big old piece of green duct tape, or throw an air
Yeah,
tag on it.
yeah. He had a tile.
Did he have a
Hmm.
tile on it? Oh,
A
okay.
tile, yeah, but he's with a tile. It's got to be near around Wi-Fi or something. You kind of know where it is, but not really. Not like an air tag.
Yeah.
Um,
Did
but to
you
go back to the flights. Oh yeah, sure. Go ahead.
hold on? Did you see what the other guy's clubs look like? Because that could have been a tough decision for him if he opened them up and he was like, "Ooh, these look better than my old Callaways from 20 years ago." Did y'all see what he had in his
Did,
bag?
so you're asking me, a young black male in an airport full of security,
No,
if
no,
I
no,
went
no.
up to a random bag and looked to see what was in it?
I thought y'all had grabbed the bag off. Is that not what happened? They took it off.
An employee
Okay.
goes over and pulls off the unclaimed luggage.
Yeah.
Took out a
Don't pull
random.
someone else's.
Look at
Don't pull
what is this
someone
guy
else's bag
talking
off the
about,
carousel.
Mike? Get that clip. Let me put that on Instagram.
I don't care
What do
who.
you
I
mean
don't
by
care
that,
who you.
brother?
I don't care who you are.
Um,
You don't grab someone else's bag off the luggage carousel if you know it's not yours.
if you can say it, I can.
No way, no day.
So no, so what we thought was gonna happen is we thought the guy was gonna get to his hotel and see Noah's club. Noah's got really nice clubs. He's got
That's what I'm
like
saying.
new-ish Mizunos. He's got a Bettinardi putter. He's got Jaws wedges and Taylormade woods. And like I said, the bag's nice. Yeah, I was like, no chance he gets anything back if he looks inside in the luggage. But no, it all worked out. It just took a while for us to get the clubs.
That's good. Restores faith in humanity that the guy did the right thing and brought him back.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Another
tell us about
thing.
the flight. Tell us about the flight.
I don't. Yeah, we just gotta like as a society, like a 3.5 hour flight, 4 hour. So sorry, from Charlotte to Phoenix, going against the wind, it's 4 hours, and then you save 30 minutes basically going with the wind. People are just no care in the world for boundaries and no respect. On the way there, it was okay, but on the way back, like the flight attendant, like you're a flight attendant, man. Like you got to be wearing deodorant. So I have to get an aisle seat. I won't do middle or window. That's what the $91 seat upgrade was. Because like I got bad knees because I'm getting old. And as they're pushing that cart, they go all the way to the front and they come back. That's how they do it. First class people first. And you catch a whiff of something. And you're like, oh man, that was rough. And then as this guy's walking back, you can start to you smell a little something. And you know how like they have to bend over and get into the lower compartments for like alcohol or like another can of soda or whatever. He was right next to me and put his hand on the seat in front of me and then bent over. Oh my goodness. It was so bad. It was so bad. And I don't know where the flight came from before going to Phoenix, but air vent was closed and it got really hot. Oh my God, it was so bad. It was so bad.
Did you not open the
But
vents?
I did. As soon
Okay.
as he went by, I had to open those things up. But I had like two ladies next to me and they were a little bit older and like they were snuggled and bundled up. So like I had to only open mine. Obviously out of respect. But any tips for traveling on the red eye, gentlemen? Because that was my first one. We left Phoenix last night at 10 o'clock. I tried to had a couple palomas. The first time having a paloma, I was hoping that would help. Popped a couple melatonins, was hoping that would help. Got on the flight. I was feeling tired. I don't know. I just can't sleep on an airplane.
Sleeping
Any
on an
advice
airplane is tough.
besides doing the heavy stuff?
Eye shade, literally like one of those blackout masks,
Uh huh.
and sleep as little as possible. Like, get up as early as you can the day you have the red eye, because you've just got to be exhausted. You've got to be absolutely exhausted.
Yeah, I woke up at 7. We left for the golf course at 8. We hit range balls. We teed off at 9. We got done at 2. We had lunch. And then I had sat around the airport for 5 hours and waited for a flight. If that doesn't wear you out, what am I doing?
Did you
No
have any
caffeine the whole
caffeine?
day.
Oh, jeez.
No
You did everything
caffeine.
right. You did everything right.
Unless a paloma, I didn't read an ingredient and, maybe it was a sugar or something. I don't know.
Nah, you did everything right. I think a sleep mask is about the only other thing that you can do to just get it completely black. But yeah, there's not much, honestly. When you're on a red eye, you're just writing off the whole next day. It's just, it's a waste. It's an absolute waste. So, but you're home safe and sound, and that's good.
Yeah. Got any tips, Madison?
No, I've never been able to sleep on a flight. I've taken several red eyes from Vegas and from California, and my body is always in fight mode when you're in a plane. My body just won't let me go to sleep. I've tried everything. I've tried sleeping aids. I've tried a few adult beverages before getting on the flight as well. A few adult beverages on the flight, and nothing. So
Now, none of that stuff works, honestly, especially if you don't fly a lot. There was a point in time in my career when I was flying down to Jacksonville just about every week. I got pretty good at sleeping on planes, but it was just because I did it all the time. Also, got good at sleeping in airports.
And that's another thing, too. Like,
Yeah.
we had to wait a bunch, and every single airport, they build the seats with the armrest so that they don't fold up, so no one can lay down and take up 5 seats.
Right.
They make you, like, I think you can rent those, like, little rooms, but those are, I'm sure, expensive. We didn't even look into those, but yeah, people sleeping on floors. It's pretty wild.
did
But you
you
gotta do what you gotta do.
did you not use any of the clubs?
I'm sorry?
Any of the clubs that you said you flew? What, American or Delta?
American.
Yeah, they have an American club. Like I fly United, and we have the United Club. So they go in there, bigger
Oh,
seats,
you're a
more
club
comfortable.
member.
Yeah.
You
So
pay
when
for
you,
the membership.
You
it's a perk that I
can buy a
have
day
of
pass.
yeah, you can buy a day pass too if you have as long as you have a ticket for a flight that day. But there's free food, there's free beverages, and it's definitely more comfortable than airplane seats or the airplane terminal seats, I'll say.
Yeah. The thing is, I guess I could do the day pass, but this will be I went to Florida earlier in the year for the PGA show, and then obviously just came back from Phoenix. I think I'll go to Texas later in the year, but that's all the flying I'll do.
That's why
Yeah.
the day pass makes sense, because if you're just going that one time, you're not paying like for the yearly pass or anything like that. You just pay for the day for that flight. But usually it's only really worth it if you've got an hour plus layover. That's what I think. Because other than that, it goes by pretty quick.
Yeah. Do you have it through a card, Madison?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, you just wind up paying so much in annual fees for any of the cards that get you lounge access. That's the
You just
thing.
can't
I
hide
can never.
money.
And there's that too.
Oh,
And when I was flying a lot,
this coming from
Says the guy who just spent $4,000.
that just told
Yeah.
us about his
that
$4,000
just
trip
dropped
to
$4,000.
Arizona. $42 on
My
some
one-
chicken tendies.
My one big vacation for the year.
Cut the guy some slack. Cut the guy some slack.
I should. He couldn't even come to the Outer Banks, so I know that he was really
He couldn't
looking forward
come-
to this trip.
He couldn't come to the Outer Banks with us, but he was able to go to Arizona. So
Yep.
we know where his loyalties really lie, but hey.
Outer Banks versus Phoenix.
I'd have done the same thing.
Yeah.
I'd have done the same thing.
I will say we probably had similar weather though, from what it sounds like.
Probably had similar weather.
We were in the 60s. The wind, I think, is really what killed us, but there wasn't too much wind. It was pretty warm out there.
I thought the wind was great.
Yeah,
Great practice for Scotland.
Very
It's
true.
exact-
You were also practicing the putter from well off the green while we were there too.
Yes. Everywhere. Putting from everywhere, Sterling. You should have seen it. I looked like an 80-year-old.
Get on the hole.
The sad thing is I'm no worse with the putter than I am with any other club around the green. Probably a little better. So
All right, let's get into the Valspar. I know no one watched
Yes.
it. I saw viewership was down 27% from last year.
mhm.
Thank you, JT, for not performing at all. Shout out Minwoo Lee for missing the cut.
It was tough. It was absolutely tough. It was absolutely tough. I did watch it. I watched the final round on DVR between basketball games, and yeah, kudos to Peter Malnati. Have you ever watched him play golf before? Yeah, it gives the rest of us hope usually, and you wonder, how is this guy a touring pro? But looked really good, I thought, and it came down the stretch like a champ. Really did. He went out there and won the thing. And Cam Young did not. Had an opportunity to grab the brass ring and just he spit the bit. I was really surprised at that. I was surprised at Mackenzie Hughes. For a while there, I thought Hughes was going to take it, and Malnati was the only one who really seemed to want it. And the birdie on 17 was just absolutely clutch.
Yeah, Cam Young is definitely someone who confuses me a little bit. He's got a ton of talent, hits the ball a mile, usually pretty accurate, has had some really close calls, but just doesn't seem to close it when it matters the most. He almost reminds me a little bit of
You tell me who you think, and I'm going to throw another comp out there.
Tommy Fleetwood would be one of them, honestly. Not as much as the power or whatever, but someone who seems to put themselves in contention, can really make a run at it, but just can't close the door when it comes to it. And when you look at a Cam Young and a Malnati, you would definitely wager more on Cam Young. Just he's lost his card 3 times or something along that.
Something like that, yeah.
He's a journeyman, so you would think that Cam Young, just with his skill of play, would be able to close the door on someone like that. And it's just disappointing to see. I think will be a one-off for Malnati. I don't expect him to really do anything else this year. He's got 2 years of exemption now, and I think that's going to be
doesn't need those board member exemptions and signature events anymore. He's actually earned his way in now.
Yeah,
just saying.
I just think Cam Young is. I don't know. Like I definitely, when he was coming out rookie of the year, and I thought for sure he was going to be another big star. He definitely has the power and the skill of a Scottie Scheffler, but once again, he is pretty dicey with the putter too. So definitely some similarities there, but you compare the games and Scottie can get it done and Cam just hasn't. He hasn't yet, and I don't know when he will.
So I heard an interesting comp, and could he be this generation's David Duval?
I saw someone saying that about, was it him
Duval
that
had
there's
a Duval had, I don't know if you, because you were probably pretty young, Madison, and Sterling. I don't know. You were barely around when Duval was in his heyday, but lots of runner-ups, lots of close calls. Everybody was asking, when is this guy gonna finally close the door on one of these things? And then when he did, he just he started winning in bunches. And could that be Cam Young? Could that be his trajectory if he can ever break through? We hope so. We'd love to see another young star, but
Yeah, he's had, I think this is his third top 10 this year. His game is definitely trending. I just thought that this would have been a really great opportunity for him in a field that's not really as strong as some of the other ones, and sometimes it takes you to get a win there to build on that confidence, to be able to close and continue on. But Peter Manali, an unlikely winner with his yellow golf ball. So
hey, shout out to everybody playing yellow Pro V1 X's.
Mike was trying to
I have
lose all the ones that he had while we were down at the beach.
I have run through my supply of
I
yellow
think they
Pro
go.
V1 X's for the year.
Have you guys seen the My Golf Spy like test? I think the yellow ones go a little bit shorter.
Like a yard or two,
You guys seen
yeah.
that?
Yeah, there's a little bit different,
Yeah.
chemistry of the cover. Yeah, they do go like a yard or so shorter. But they're easier to see when the grass is all dead. Old guys like us with bad eyes, we need all the help we can get.
It's understandable.
Yeah.
From one unlikely winner to another, or wait, hang on. From an unlikely winner to a likely winner,
To a likely winner, maybe, yeah.
Nelly Corda.
Getting it done.
That's all I got. I mean,
Getting it
that's
done.
all the intro I can do. Because were they overseas somewhere?
California.
In my neck of the
Yes,
woods.
the Republic of California.
There was a tape delay.
It's okay. It's okay. Yeah, Palos Verdes Country Club, really wild looking golf course.
Why I thought it was somewhere else.
Yeah, if you haven't watched the YouTube highlights, I would at least watch those. It's a very cool golf course and getting it done in some conditions, which I don't think is something we've seen from Nelly before. She's picked up a rap as a fair weather golfer, and I think maybe this kind of puts that to bed, which I think is awesome.
Yeah, this is her second win this year. Back to world number one in the Rolex rankings, CME Globe, all of those things. I think she's back to the Nelly that we all thought of her early last year as well, and just really excited to see how she does for the remainder of the year. Taylormade was definitely pulling out all the advertisements with Scottie and Nelly, which was pretty cool to see. But yeah, I mean, she's back. I'll say that. I don't know that she ever really left, but it's good to see her winning again, and especially winning in bunches now. Like maybe two's not a bunch.
Fun fact. No American woman has won twice before April since 2012, Stacey Lewis.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, who's been the best American golfer between the two? Like between Stacey Lewis and Nelly Corda.
Between Stacey Lewis and Nelly Corda, so you're gonna leave out
like
Lilia
in
Vu,
between
who
those
won 2
10
majors
years,
last year.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So leave her out. That's cool. I don't know that there's really been any Americans of note since Stacey Lewis until Lilia and Nelly. Really.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah, looking good going into their first major, not too far away either.
What's up first for them?
The Chevron Championship.
I was listening to another podcast, and they brought up the question of how long will it take for the men's major championships to be sponsored or have a title name sponsor. Do you think that'll happen in the next 3 to 5 years?
I think if things continue on the same trajectory that they're on now, I think it's definitely possible. Like at least a presented by.
Yeah.
I think we could see a presented by in 3 to 5 years.
Will it be the PGA or the U.S. Open? Because it won't be the British and it won't be the Masters.
It'll never be the Masters.
Never.
They'll just keep printing money to make sure it doesn't happen there. I could see it being the PGA Championship. Absolutely. That wouldn't surprise me. That wouldn't surprise me one bit.
Yeah.
The question is who? Could it be presented by the PIF or by Aramco?
Yeah.
There are a bunch of people talking. There are a bunch of people talking on boats down in the Bahamas.
Yeah, I don't know though. Depending on where the money comes from, you could see the Open Championship presented by Aramco if they're throwing money around. And honestly, if we're talking about viewership, which I think you said that was down, the Valspar was down what, 27%?
Yeah.
So
the Players was down pretty significantly too.
Yeah, and the Live bots will have you believe it's because everyone's watching Live now, and same reason that Live viewership is down. PGA people say it's because of PGA. The game of golf is just not. Ever since it's been fractured, I just don't think people are watching it as much. Their favorite people aren't there anymore. All of the viewership is now scattered, and everyone says the only thing that they care about are the majors. If you're a sponsor of a tournament, maybe you save up a little bit of money and try and get a major. Maybe you try and pull something together to see if they are going to do a major. If that's all that people care about and that's where you're going to get your most viewership, that would make the most sense to me as opposed to an off week random tournament. The reason the Honda left, if you're not going to give us a designated event and put us in the prime time, then why waste our money? So I think it, like you said, I think it could be something at least talked about in the next 3 to 5 years, just with the current state of the game.
Yeah, it absolutely wouldn't surprise me because I can't imagine sponsors continuing to shell out the kind of dollars that they're shelling out for the returns they're getting. It frankly doesn't make a heck of a lot of sense. Like even $20 million for a signature event, I don't get it. I absolutely do not understand how they make the math work. It's got to be just CEOs who are crazy about golf and who want to have that kind of access to the PGA Tour. Obviously, it's great for entertaining and those sorts of things, but you can spend $20 million a lot of different ways to entertain clients. I think something's got to give. Whatever it is, something's got to give at some point.
This is being recorded on video as well.
Yeah, I know that.
Okay.
The people know that. Shout out to YouTube if you're watching.
Yeah, if you don't know, this is also being posted on YouTube. You can check it out on YouTube every Thursday.
Usually Wednesday or Thursday we get it out.
I wouldn't even put a time on it. Just check it out on YouTube.
Gets out when it gets out.
It'll be
your notifications on, you'll know when it comes on.
There you go.
Don't be so hostile towards the viewers.
Maybe that's what they need.
Hey, we love our viewers. We absolutely love our viewers, especially the people who watch the podcasts.
Yep.
That's a different breed. That's a different breed. We need to do something special for them.
Yeah.
Should we get a membership? Should we get them the Delta membership that Madison has?
There we go.
Mine's through United.
2-in-1.
No. The 2-in-1 package.
The 2-in-1 club.
Yes.
Yeah. What are you going to send them, Madison?
I don't know. Some peanuts. Some Stroop waffles. I don't know.
What is that? What's a Stroop waffle?
You've never had a Stroop waffle? Have you never flown United?
Never. I'm not. You can't hide the money, like I said earlier.
Oh my gosh.
I've only flown American.
Mike, have you had a Stroop waffle before?
So I have. So the
Okay.
question: Stroopwafel or Biscoff? Sounds like you are
Stroopwafel.
firmly in the Stroopwafel camp. I'm Biscoff all the way.
So
It's not an actual waffle. I have a Biscoff in my bag right now from the.
No.
Yep.
Stroopwafel is completely different. Don't let anybody. A Stroopwafel actually looks like a waffle. It's very,
But it's a
very
cookie.
thin, and there's honey on the inside. It's honey and something else. It's really great if it's warm.
It's not great.
No, that is not it. That's no.
Biscoff.
All right, here's what we'll do. I'll get some Stroopwafels, and you can try it, and we'll see what you think. The idea behind a Stroopwafel, because they're round, they're like this big, is you put them on top of your cup of coffee, which is hot, and it warms it up so that you bite into it.
Looks pretty
and
round
the
to
honey
me,
melts.
Mike.
That's not very round. That's more of a rectangle.
It's a rounded
It's a
rectangle.
graham cracker.
Wow.
That's all it
Anyways.
is. Graham cracker.
Whatever. You guys. That's not what a Stroopwafel is.
It all depends on what you have status on. American was the only thing that flew to Jacksonville out of Richmond. That's why I have status on American.
Here you go. Look at this. Look at this beautiful thing right here. There's nothing better in the world than a good old Stroopwafel. A warm Stroopwafel. If they've been, I will say, I have gotten a couple.
Feel bad for Danielle if you're saying that's the best thing in the world.
That's the best snack in the world. I have gotten a couple, Mike, where I will say that it seems like they have been lost on the snack truck, and they are a little firm after that. So
quality control is not there. Just not there. The Biscoffs, those things, indestructible.
It's a dry cookie. Of course it's indestructible.
And everlasting.
How do you break it?
We will be long gone.
Dry cookie?
We will be long gone, and the Biscoffs will still be around.
It'll be the Biscoffs and the Twinkies. Only thing left.
Yep, that's it.
And a cockroach.
And the cockroaches won't touch either of them. All right, we've gone way off the rails here.
We've gone way off.
Podcast when we go off the rails.
It is. If you're still here at minute 59, thank you. We love you.
Yeah.
What do you got, Madison?
Big news. I sent it to both of you. I did have my second.
Just breaking?
Yeah, this is not breaking. It was breaking last week. Did my second hole-in-one of my golf career last week at Hunting Hawk.
Congratulations.
It was a magical moment playing with our good friend and live supporter, Dwayne. Hoping to have him back on the podcast at some point whenever he and Greg are done talking. And yeah, really exciting stuff.
Nice.
So how'd you celebrate?
I didn't. I was
drinks
shocked.
Did you have to buy?
None. There was nobody there. There was nobody at the clubhouse. I did get. Here's what I think fueled it, Sterling. Let me tell you this, because we always talk about what you get at the turn. We make the turn. I think I'm 2 over at the turn. I go into the pro shop. The guy.
Hang on. You're 2 over and you made a hole in one. I can't wait to hear what the final score was.
I was on the back nine. The back nine was the hole in one. The front nine, I was 2 over.
So you're 2 over on the front. You made a hole in one on the back.
Hole in one on the back.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you're even par for those 10 holes.
It was on 12.
Not 10 consecutive holes, but you played 10 holes
10
in
total.
even par.
Yep.
10 total holes in even par.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
I go in at the turn. The guy behind the counter looks not happy.
At the turn. Apparently, there's no one there.
There's nobody
there.
But there was someone there.
But there's a guy.
There's a guy. There's a guy behind the counter.
There's a guy behind the counter.
There's no one there.
He looked very unhappy. He looked very unhappy. He was just not happy to be there, which I get. It's fine, whatever. It's a beautiful day outside.
It's Hunting Hawk. We get it.
I asked for a hot dog, and I glanced over and looked at them sitting on the heat lamp. They looked small. I was like, let me have 2 hot dogs, actually. Didn't eat breakfast that morning. Was a little hungry.
Utah, get me 2.
Come to find out, quarter-pound hot dogs. So half-pound hot dog in the belly, making the turn on 10. We are sitting pretty. Yeah, that and a little Diet Pepsi action that just got the momentum going. But yeah, I finished the round 3 over. So not terrible, but
3 over for the other 8 holes. I'd take it.
pretty much. Yeah.
I'd
Yeah,
take
that's
it.
pretty good.
Yep.
Did you post that on your handicap?
I did post it. Yep.
So
Gonna look it up on
congratulations
the
to
US.
you on that. That's awesome. That's awesome.
What's
Your
your
second
game
hole in
number?
one.
Well, I'm at a 5 now. After the Outer Banks, I went from a 4.5 to a 5.1. So that was exciting stuff.
Golfer lookup. Madison Hill.
So you went from a 4.5 to a 5.1. I went from, I think, a 7.5 to an 8.8.
That's just a
Oh, I
completely
love
white
that.
screen.
How's
That
it
doesn't
show up?
work.
How'd you
That
get
doesn't
yours to
work.
show up?
Yikes.
There we go.
It's because it had color to it. Yours is just a blank, like just a white screen.
Yeah.
I can't
Are
see
we
anything.
seeing that?
I see my name.
It says no results. Golfer not found. Madison, nobody knows who you are.
He's a sandbagger. He's cheating,
That's-
brother.
You've literally put my number in for the RVA Open. Yeah, you said you went from what, Mike?
Yeah, your 18 birdies number that you gave me, that's suspect.
I don't even post on 18 birdies
Yeah.
Where do you,
I went
on
from
the VSJ
7.5.
app.
Yeah. I went from
what's your
7.5
number?
to 8.8.
7.5 to 8.8.
Yeah. It's quite a precipitous fall. I had several decent scores that were just about to get pushed out. Yeah, I see Madison. I don't know why you can't find him.
1-0-7-1-9-2-9-4-2-4.
Yeah, how did you not see
There he
that?
is.
He probably
Oh,
spelled
that's
my
pretty-
name wrong, which is a tough look for doing this
No.
for 3
Running
years now.
back. Watch the video. Running back, brother. The name was spelled
Tuesday.
correct. You're terrible at it. You got it.
No,
That was horrendous.
all right. Let's wrap it up.
All right. At some point, they're going to stop us.
Today's episode, quick ad. Today's episode brought to you by Texas Fly Co. Make sure to check them out at txflyco.com. They've got all your great hats and t-shirt deals. So check them out.
For all your headwear needs.
And then
And what if you can't wear a hat? What do they have for me?
Do they have
T-shirts.
visors for Sterling? Yeah.
No visors.
And we decided to bring him on as a sponsor.
Look, man. Look at you right now wearing a t-shirt. I figured this would be a good fit for you. They've got black t-shirts. All right, take us home, Mike.
All right.
Country
So this
road.
weekend, we've got the Texas Children's Houston Open. Run up to the Masters. Does anybody care, or are we all more focused on March Madness?
Caitlin Clark, there's some cheating sons of guns, man. I tell you what.
No, serious.
Did we not see that game last night?
Tell me about it. No, I did not.
Madison, did you watch?
Mm-mm.
All right, I guess they're more interested in the PGA Tour. West Virginia got cheated. Let's just call it what it is. People are saying the NCAA Women's March Madness is catching fire and it's heat and viewership is up. That's true. And they're going to make sure it stays there because those refs last night were pulling hard for Iowa.
Were they?
They were, but
Is Iowa the Duke of the women's tournament?
no.
Do they
It's
get all the
worse.
calls like Duke does?
Yeah, Duke used to get those calls. They don't get them anymore.
Yeah.
Was that more in the Christian Leitner days?
That was definitely in the Christian Leitner days, but I think it's
AJ
like
Redick
throughout.
days.
I think throughout the Coach K days, the Trajan Langdon days, yeah. You don't
Yeah,
remember Trajan Langdon, the Alaskan assassin? Come on.
I'm sorry, I
No.
don't.
No.
No.
Wow. God. All right. All right. So I think we need to wrap it up there. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. Thank you for staying here for an hour and 7 minutes with us. Be sure to check us out on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, all the socials at 2-in-1, at 2-in-1 Golf, website 2in1golf.com. There will be a new blog post at some point, I promise you, once I think of something to write. And with that, we're
Roll
out.
the outro music.